Vegas, our marquee matchup. Two-time champion Jose Luis Castillo will put his WBC 135-pound title on the line as he squares off with former IBF lightweight title holder Julio Diaz, both boldly predicting a knockout. So as we close in on our main event, this begins a series that will determine the champion of champions at 135 pounds. Back here with Al, and tonight's fight really presents a huge opportunity for both Castillo and Diaz.
Yeah, it really does. You know, it took Jose Luis Castillo 14 years and 38 fights to get to this point, being on the cusp of genuine stardom. Now, a big win tonight can do it for him and secure a big fight with Diego Corrales. At 31, his boxing biological clock is certainly starting to tick, so giving birth to stardom can't wait much longer. Now, at age 25, Diaz has been thought of as the other champion out there, certainly not on the same level as Castillo or Corrales or Joel Casamero or Ecelino Freitas when they were all champions. This is his chance to change that perception, and he has the skills and toughness to do it. But technique and strategy will play roles as well. One of those Diaz strategies is to throw a lot of jabs and with conviction. Lateral movement is to Castillo what kryptonite is to Superman. Even a little will help Diaz. Now everyone lands right hands against Castillo. Hurting him is another matter. Diaz has to throw this punch. The classic 1-2 combination will serve Diaz well in this fight. The left jab will set up what is a very good right hand for Diaz. For him to win, this scene must be reenacted a lot tonight. A big part of Castillo's attack is to the body, and that should continue tonight if he's to be successful. Castillo needs to get his left back in defensive position quickly to block those right hands. When he gets inside, Castillo should rip the left hook. Diaz has been down with this punch 3 times in his career. The head is an inviting target when the hands are this low, and if they are tonight, Jose Luis Castillo will get a left hook in just like this.
Heavy underdog Julio Diaz, haunted to this day by a stunning first-round knockout loss to a journeyman named Juan Valenzuela about 3 years ago, which destroyed a shot at Floyd Mayweather. Diaz deemed incapable of making a competitive fight, the all-time low point in his career. Tonight, a major opportunity to make people forget. He wanted this fight so badly, Al, as you know. He gave up his IBF belt for the chance to fight Castillo. He's got his fans here, and it's only fitting that he take a big gamble here in Las Vegas.
He believes in himself. You know, this is not false bravado by Julio Diaz. He thinks he has the boxing skills and even the power to beat Castillo. We'll see.
The youngest of 4 fighting brothers from the small town of Coachella, California. He didn't like boxing at first, but went to the gym so he could be with his brothers. Turns out he could be the best of the brothers. With a win tonight, Diaz with a chance to fight the top 2 lightweights in the world 2 months apart, Castillo and Corrales. Very motivated. He's also 2 years wiser, more experienced, more mature since they were supposed to fight, Diaz and Castillo. Castillo pulled out with a hand injury, so is this destiny for Diaz? We'll see. The champion, Jose Luis Castillo, who had 2 fights with Diego Corrales fall out due to contractual problems, just shrugged it off and said, "I'll fight anybody you put in front of me." Well, he beat Joel Casamero, who brings a totally different style than Corrales, and tonight, the relatively inexperienced Julio Diaz. Castillo, who hasn't lost since 1998, said he wants to end this early and get away clean with Corrales looming. Hearing a lot of booing from the crowd, he actually looks like the man he used to spar with as he comes in with that headband, Julio Cesar Chavez. You know, there are possible distractions and questions here. Rumors of difficulty making weight, currently going through a divorce. But once that bell sounds out, no questioning his will and heart. Floyd Mayweather can attest to that.
Absolutely. He is a warrior. Now, the other issue would be looking past Julio Diaz. He was supposed to fight Diego Corrales, would fight him in May if he wins. But I think he understands very well that he is faced with a formidable challenge, and I think we'll see a very focused Castillo tonight.
A big, strong, stalking, no-nonsense lightweight who likens himself to a diesel truck. Takes a little time to get the motor going, but once he's revved up, very dangerous. Jose Luis Castillo. Let's size them up right now as we check out the tail of the tape. Castillo, the champion, 6 years older than Diaz. The height is all even. Slight reach advantage for Castillo. At yesterday's weigh-in, Castillo right on, Diaz just under, but tonight's weights, Castillo 152, Diaz 150, almost super welterweights. And the notable unified rules for this World Championship fight: no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt occurs before the end of the 4th, it's a no decision. If it happens after the end of round 4, they go to the scorecards. A lively crowd here at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. We're getting ready for our main event. Jose Luis Castillo versus Julio Diaz for the WBC Lightweight Championship. Let's get the official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you. We welcome you to the beautiful Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's time for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated in association with Saquon Ringside Promotions, Mandalay Bay, eBay Sports, and Showtime. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the WBC, President Jose Sulaiman, supervisors Osvaldo Bisbal and Rex Ross Walker, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the chairman Skip Avancino, commissioners Dr. Tony Alamo, John Bailey, Joe W. Brown, and Dr. Flip Homansky, with the executive director Mark Ratner. Our physicians at ringside: Dr. William Berliner, Dr. David Watson, Dr. Todd Chapman, and Dr. James Detling. And our timekeepers at the bell, also keeping count of the knockdowns, James Cavan and Mike Lasella. Introducing to you our judges, scoring this bout from ringside. From Reno, Nevada, Bert Clemens. From Braintree, Massachusetts, Dick Flaherty. And from Las Vegas, Nevada, Dalby Shirley. Our third man to the ring and is working in this, his 144th world title bout, Richard Steele. Right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Lightweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, it's showtime! Introducing to you first, the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing navy blue trunks with white trim, representing the well-respected boxing family from Coachella, California. He weighed in at 134.5 pounds with a record of 30 wins, 2 losses. He has 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is challenging for the title. Please welcome the former IBF lightweight champion of the world, introducing Julio the Kid Diaz. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing wearing royal blue trunks with white trim, hailing from Empalme, Sonora, Mexico. He weighed in at the lightweight limit of 135 pounds even. His record stands at 51 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, with 45 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2-time and current WBC lightweight champion of the world, introducing José Luis El Temible Castillo. Once again, our referee in charge, Richard Steele, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of championship boxing schedule.
Okay, I spoke to both fighters in the dressing room. I'm cautioning them again to obey my commands at all times. Keep all your punches up. This is a little low. This is okay. Keep them up. Obey my commands. Have a good fight. Good luck.
Go. Go.
Two classy competitors, both Castillo and Diaz, poised, confident, fearless fighters. Castillo, straight ahead pressure guy. The man on the other side of the ring, Diaz, a boxer first, who knows he'd better keep his distance. Yet he told us he's not afraid to fight, that he can beat Castillo at his own game. Diaz says he will shock Castillo, who is not taking Diaz lightly. So here we go. Big Castillo concern cuts, particularly with the Corrales fight dangling in just 60 days. 4 of Castillo's 6 losses stopped on cuts. So we'll see if that becomes a factor. Hall of Fame referee Richard Steele, the third man, retired in 2001 to become a promoter, decided to return to refereeing last August.
A factor to remember, Diaz has not fought for 10 months. So will that layoff make him rusty early in this fight?
Remember Castillo's signature weapon, the double left hook to the body and head, which was so effective versus Joel Casamayor down the stretch. We wondered why he didn't go to that earlier in the fight. He said he thought he could knock Casamayor out at any time with one punch. Castillo passing on numerous left hook opportunities in the early rounds. He promises to be busier tonight, throw many more punches, hoping, of course, to land some power shots in the process.
You know, we saw Castillo with his everything about his look and his demeanor coming into this fight, almost paying homage to his idol, Julio Cesar Chavez. Diaz has made the comparison and said this feels like the De La Hoya Chavez fight to me. We know, of course, Diaz, who's 25, thinks of himself as the De La Hoya, and Castillo is the Chavez, who will be too old to get it done.
Here's Castillo chasing Diaz around the ring. Against Castillo, Diaz had better have a well thought out fight plan. And it better involve not allowing Castillo to get too close. Strategically fight from the outside, just as he did versus a big, strong Courtney Burton, a thrilling 11th round knockout a year ago.
And Diaz has already switched to lefty. Now, he does that often in fights, not usually this early. We'll see how that plays out.
Diaz would be best to use his speed, movement, his ability to switch to southpaw, as we already see. He does have good skills. Here's a left hook to the chin by Diaz.
See, why would he go back to righty when that worked? That's the part that, when I see a fighter switch so early in a fight and be effective and then go right back, that seems puzzling to me. I've never understood that. That seems like a guy that's a little aimless about what he wants to do. Boy, he was effective there as a lefty for just that 40 seconds.
Diaz, a very good boxer, but not afraid to trade, which of course could be a mistake versus a guy like Castillo. You want to keep that separation while scoring. And I did notice from studying tapes, and you mentioned it, Diaz has a tendency to drop his left hand, sometimes making him vulnerable to the right, and also he is vulnerable to opponents' left hooks, which is a key weapon for Castillo.
Todo bien, todo bien. Everything's fine.
¿Y qué con el mapa que está adentro?
I'm fine.
Dame el agua.
Give me the water, sir. Give me the water.
Andas precito ahorita, tienes que soltar poquito la mano. Sí, ven,
You have to level your hands. Level your hands.
Sí. Set it up for the right hand. When you throw your right hand, then cook him. Ya anda sangrando, okay? It's already
bleeding.
From the nose. Esas narices ya las trae jodidones.
Yeah, the nose is already bleeding.
All I want you to do is be real good. Put your hands up, bien suave, las manos arriba, Julio.
Okay.
Mira como te le...
Let's go. More punches, let's go.
Our translator, Ricardo Jimenez, you can hear in the corner of Castillo, they want him to be busier, throw more punches.
You know, a little bit of a sluggish start by Castillo, but don't be fooled by that. He is also, as you pointed out, Steve, a boxer who might take a couple rounds to get going, but once he gets in his rhythm, he's a very good pressure fighter.
Yeah, not the fastest starter in the world, but he gets his point across in due time. Well, this is the type of fight Diaz just cannot afford to make a mistake. It really could cost him. He almost has to fight the perfect fight against Castillo.
Now switching back to lefty again is Diaz, but right back to righty. So showing him flashes of that style. I'm a believer that if you go with the style like that, you need to give it a half a round or a full round and make it effective.
Jose Luis Castillo with a left hook upstairs.
Diaz is trading left hooks with Castillo, and look, Castillo's landing his.
It's a mistake for Diaz. Usually you're going to pay.
He's better off in his lefty stance, I think, early in this fight. He's had better success with it, Diaz.
Now he switches to conventional again. And a pretty good left hook there by Julio Diaz to the head.
Castillo is landing too many left hooks right now. He shouldn't be able to get that punch in this easily, this early in the fight. It's a danger sign for, I think, for Julio Diaz.
Diaz is susceptible to left hooks. For some reason, oftentimes he doesn't see them coming, and that could be very troubling. If you don't see a punch coming, that's a problem.
He's been dropped 3 times by left hooks in his career.
That could turn out to be a huge factor here against one of the best left hookers going in Castillo.
Good action sequences. Diaz punching back pretty well after Castillo lands some of those hard hooks. Castillo's not been able to get on the inside as much as he would want so far, but he's still landing effectively. He's not going to the body much, Castillo, either yet.
Keep him in front.
Again, Castillo is not a torrid starter. He looks to wear people down. We saw that against Casamayor in the last fight.
Let him go, no holding. Right.
To a lot of people, this would be unthinkable, a victory by Julio Diaz tonight. Good exchange there. Castillo scoring just before the bell.
Enganchó hace ratito, vivo con ese gancho.
You have to be alive. Watch that left hand. Come on. Be alive. Be careful with that.
Respira por la boca. Sigue llaveando.
Keep throwing jabs. Keep throwing jabs.
Al cuerpo, trabaja
The body, the body.
Respira por la boca. Vivo con su ganchito, cabecea. Así hace rato.
Jose Luis Castillo, of course, his signature punch is this hook. Now that was a lazy right hand and he lands it. Using the jab effectively there to try and set up more hooks. He's always looking for that punch, Castillo. We take a look again at how the left hook lands. That was a very nice counter left hook over a right hand by Diaz.
So round 3 scheduled for 12 for the WBC Lightweight Championship and the right to meet WBO titleist Diego Corrales in May.
You know, Julio Diaz is a very, very skilled fighter. He is the very definition of boxer puncher. So if his focus doesn't go south on him during the course of this fight, he can stick to his game plan. He's a very live guy in there against Castillo. But what's troubling so far for him and his people is that Castillo's been able to get those hooks in.
Julio with two older brothers who fought for world championships but came up short. Antonio, who's in his corner, lost to Shane Mosley for the WBC welterweight belt in 2000. Brother Joel lost to Philip Holliday for the lightweight title back in '96.
Julio's dad works in a construction company that he owns, runs it for him. They're really a wonderful family in the Southern California area.
They're the pride of Coachella, just outside Palm Springs. Coach trained by Lee Espinoza. He's got the market cornered in Coachella and has been with Julio Diaz since he was 6 years old.
Good action in this third round, and while Diaz has done some good counterpunching as Castillo comes in, I think he would like a little more consistent effort right now. There's a nice right hand by Diaz.
Punch to get out.
Diaz in the navy blue, 30-2 with 22 knockouts. Castillo in the royal blue, 51-6-1 with 45 KOs, 5-2-1 in world championship fights. Two-time WBC lightweight champion, former Mexican featherweight champion, fighting over 14.5 years.
Castillo starting to pick up the beat with his jab and his straight right hand also.
Right, step back, step back, step back.
I think Julio Diaz is missing a bet here. He switches to lefty and he's effective, and he stays with it for maybe 15 seconds.
Right,
he needs to give that a full round, and he might have discovered something that would help him in this fight.
Wonder if Lee Espinoza or anybody in the corner has also picked up on that.
Punch to get out, punch to get out.
Pass it on.
It's just kind of aimless switching right now. There doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason to it.
Well, in his mind, he thinks he's confusing and frustrating Castillo, and you're right. Just get a little more time, see what happens.
Let him up, don't hold him.
Action heating up at the end of round 3. Well, we want to remind viewers to visit our website. Take a look.
Show.com now brings you closer to the world of Showtime Championship Boxing than ever before. Log on to see exclusive hard-hitting video, in-depth fighter stats, and our all-new photo gallery. With Show.com, you can take part in the hottest boxing topics with our interactive poll. And you can have your voice heard by voting for your favorite boxing moments. And don't forget to sign up for wireless updates to get boxing trivia and fight week information sent directly to your cell phone. Show.com, the Internet's undisputed champion.
Poquito más,
Faster, come on. More. Come on. Effective, be effective in there.
Castillo comes jumping out of his corner. So meet Diaz in the center of the ring. Round 4 scheduled for 12 for the WBC Lightweight Championship. Jose Luis Castillo. We got a lot of confidence from sparring with legendary 3-time world champion Julio Cesar Chavez. He was able to get his hands on Chavez while others couldn't.
Break, step back,
step back. Confidence.
Speaking of sparring, Americo Santos, a very good 19-year-old fighter, sparred with Julio Diaz. He actually studied tapes of Castillo so that he could emulate his style, and they thought that they had it down in training. But of course, as Julio is finding out, the real Castillo is pretty tough. And there's a jab from Julio Diaz. He needs to land that punch more as he goes on here to break up the rhythm of Castillo as he comes in.
Step back, step back, step back. All right,
Boy, nobody wants to stop punching.
When I said break, time. Yep. When I said break, I mean break. Step out there. That's a headbutt. Go to the corner. Time. accidental butt. This guy, accidental butt. Watch your head. Watch your head.
So an accidental headbutt, and he's pointing the finger at Castillo.
I think it's caused a little abrasion on the left eye of Julio Diaz. He was blinking his left eye, and I think that's why Richard Steele stopped the action to make the point. If there is a cut that develops, it would be from a clash of heads.
Okay, so very clear is Richard Steele not taking a point away, but just giving him a warning.
Well, he wants the judges to know.
The judges, right.
Diaz now leaping in with that left hook. That is not a good strategy against Castillo.
And just as a reminder to the fans, Al, if a fight is stopped by an accidental headbutt before the end of the fourth round, and we're in the fourth round, the fight's ruled a no decision. After the end of the fourth round, the end of the round, keep in mind, they go to the scorecard.
Now Castillo on the inside, he's going to work there. Diaz has actually kept him on the outside for the most part during this fight, but now he is getting on the inside and working well.
Stop holding him.
There's a little cut. Yeah, there's blood coming from the left eye.
Outside the left eye of Diaz. I'm looking closely to see if it's getting into the eye. I don't think so.
Good counter-punching by Diaz and a good left hook to the body.
Diaz to the body and over the top. That's a scraping cut. The blood is outside the left eye of Diaz. Doesn't seem to be hindering him in any way. Well, Castillo just gave Diaz a look as if to say, I know what you're doing. And an overhand right that tags Diaz.
Don't worry. Me estás amarrando, Julio.
Julio,
estás amarrando, está amarrando, güey.
Julio, come on. You're slowing down. You're slowing down.
Let's take a listen to Richard Steele and how he handled that situation a moment ago.
Break, step back, step back, step back. All right, hey. All right, when I say break, time. When I say break, I mean break. Step out there. That's a headbutt. Go to the corner. Time. Accidental butt. This guy, accidental butt.
This guy referring to Castillo.
That's great referee. Very precise, very clear, and lets everybody know exactly what's happening. And of course, if this fight was stopped because of that cut, they would go to the scorecards, though, because we've passed the 4-round period.
And remember, whoever wins this fight, universally acclaimed as the best lightweight in the world. Of course, Diego Corrales has his own thoughts on the matter. He hasn't fought in quite a while, since August when he beat Marcelino Freitas. And whoever wins this fight, the winner will emerge to take on Corrales May 7th here on Showtime.
Steady pressure from Jose Luis Castillo.
Great shots by Castillo right on the head of Diaz.
Julio Diaz is counter-punching and is trying to use the jab and the straight right hand, but it hasn't been as effective as he would like.
2 out of 3 in press row have Castillo ahead. Robert Morales has Diaz ahead by a point from the LA Daily News.
And I have it 39-37 for Jose Luis Castillo. There's a jab straight right hand by Diaz. It doesn't land, but Castillo's left hook does, and that's kind of this fight in microcosm, that 20 seconds.
Yeah, Castillo snuck in that left hook at the last second, and it caught the kid's attention.
Break.
The kid with 2 Ds.
Tying up and holding.
And 1 more D for extra credit, extra spunk.
You know, they have a common opponent, Javier Jauregui, and interestingly, Jauregui beat Castillo twice, knocked him out, TKO in 10th round twice back in 94, 96, and then that's the same man that Julio Diaz beat to win the title, but he did it just last year. So some time, or 2002 I guess, some time went by certainly, and it wasn't the same horror guy. It was in last year, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the win by Diaz over Courtney Burton, very impressive win, made him the #1 IBF contender and set up the title fight with Javier Jauregui, which Diaz won by majority decision, although most thought Diaz won it convincingly. But instead of defending against the mandatory Levander Johnson for less money, he gave up the belt to fight Castillo. And now Diaz from southpaw. Look out.
The way this fight is going, the way it's evolving isn't favorable to Julio Diaz. He's not doing enough work from the outside, and Castillo's able to get in and do some damage. Nice hook by Diaz from the left-handed stance again.
Castillo, who's 6-7 years older than Diaz, looks the fresher of the two here. Diaz bloodied, getting knocked around, and at the bell, another good poke with the right hand by Castillo.
Está yendo,
Castillo able to put some punches together in the last round. A straight right and then the jab. That's an odd combination, but it landed for Castillo. From another angle, straight right, and then he comes with kind of a half hook, half jab. Castillo with relentless pressure. There's the left hook. Now it was countered by Diaz, but the left hook from Castillo certainly got there with more impact. Really, Castillo shouldn't be able to land those hooks from outside.
Come on. Be alive out there. Be alive. Let's go, son. You can do it. Come on. Right.
Round 6 scheduled for 12 for the WBC Lightweight Championship. The ultra-experienced Jose Luis Castillo wearing the royal blue. Julio Diaz, the kid, just 25 years old, in the navy blue. Castillo on the right of your screen, Diaz the left. You know, the trunks look very similar.
You know, that last 25 seconds is exactly what Diaz would like to see happen through this whole fight. He threw some nice combinations, gave just enough lateral movement so that Castillo couldn't get to him. And in a short burst, that was how he'd like the rest of this fight to go.
So Diaz working out of the southpaw stance, dodging a left hook bullet a second ago. There's the jab by Castillo. And a low.
Keep it up front. Keep it up front.
Low blows. If you're just joining us, no knockdowns. One warning towards Castillo for headbutting.
Don't hold him. Don't push.
And Richard Steele once again getting involved. Steele in his 144th championship fight. Referee since 1976, involved in a lot of controversial fights. They're still talking about Chavez Taylor. Tyson Ruddock won, you might recall. Controversy there.
Now that time, Diaz got the better of the exchange of hooks, and this has been a fairly good round for Julio Diaz. Whether he's won it remains to be seen, but you see him land the uppercut. He's been a little sharper with his punches. He's boxed a little bit more against Castillo. And this might be a round that some of the judges might be inclined to give him, even with the pressure of Castillo.
Getting a little messy now. Castillo gave Diaz a little look earlier, as if to say, I've got you figured out, kid. We'll see.
Diaz much more active in this round, much more active. His punches are a little more accurate. He's throwing combinations, which he did before. He's moving more. Look how it made Castillo miss during that sequence.
Pull your hands back.
This is probably a very heartening round for Julio Diaz.
Right, step back, step back.
As we head to the bell, round 6 in this World Championship fight.
Time.
Well, while the boxing world wonders where's the next great heavyweight coming from, the lightweights are stealing the thunder, Al.
These fighters in the lightweight and super lightweight or junior welterweight division, I don't remember a time when you could look down a list in 2 weight divisions and see so many excellent fighters. Every one of those, including the newcomers like Miguel Cotto, Vivian Harris, who doesn't have a great name but certainly is excellent, and maybe the standard bearer in terms of boxer puncher Floyd Mayweather, but Costa Tszyu, the king of that division. Is he the king of all of the Magnificent 11? That remains to be seen, but this is a very talented crew who could all fight each other.
And in the crowd, Floyd Mayweather Jr. in there twice with Jose Luis Castillo. Beat him twice, but he knows of the heart and will of the Mexican.
He respects Jose Luis Castillo.
Unquestionably. Part of the rich and deep talent. The good thing is they're willing to fight each other.
Yep, you're right.
And that's where the exciting activity is now, 135 and 140. And we're very pleased to be bringing it to you here. Round 7, scheduled for 12.
Now, I thought round 6 was a watershed round for Julio Diaz. Let's see if he can build on it. He got back in the fight. He started doing all the things he needed to do, and he's doing them in this round. Keeping Castillo at bay a little bit with the double jabs and the combinations. See, Castillo, he's backing him up. Castillo can't punch when he's getting nailed with combinations.
Diaz coming on here. Crowd gets behind him.
Diaz, though, being lured in there to a hooking match for a moment or two. He doesn't want that.
And then Castillo with a whipping right that missed.
And a straight right from Diaz. That is an important punch for him to keep landing.
Good double left by Diaz.
Big left hook, though, by Castillo when he got inside.
That could be the telling punch, as we've been broadcasting all night.
Right, step back, step back.
Castillo's left hook. Now again, Diaz switching to lefty.
Right, step back, step back. Don't keep him
Press row scoring. Let's see. All Castillo now. Steve Kim, Robert Morales, and William Trio.
I have it 58-56 for Castillo. I thought that last round was an important one for Diaz, and this round, a very close round. Diaz boxing well, but Castillo also getting some good work done.
Nice job on the cut around the left eye of Diaz, but a little trickle of blood from the left nostril now.
You're holding, you're holding.
The movement in this round by Diaz has been better.
Chance of Julio as the fans get behind Diaz.
Big contingent from Southern California here. All his family, his mom, his dad, his brothers, they're all here. And a lot of folks from the Coachella area.
Coachella population about 20,000. I think about 15,000 of them are boxers.
This is a very close round to score, and maybe this last 40 seconds will make the difference in who wins it.
Keep him up. Keep the punches out. Right, step back. Don't hold.
It's worth noting that Castillo hasn't been as active on the inside, Steve, in the last couple of rounds as he would like to be.
Right.
Diaz looking at Richard Steele and complaining a little bit about the head collision by Castillo. Here's Castillo on the inside.
The hands are free.
And that's not where Diaz wants to
Keep
be.
punching this side. Or get out.
Or should be.
Step back, step back.
Boy, they won't stop punching. Castillo could get a point taken away pretty soon.
Bad cut around the right eye of Diaz. Because it's above, I believe, and it's going into the eye. Right on the lid.
Julio, Este te quedas ahí, baby, te estás quedando. No, no, muévase, papá.
You're staying in there. You're staying in there. You have to get out. You have to win with the jab. Julio, please, with the jab. Keep it, keep it. Just keep swinging that jab.
We believe this may be where the cut happened. There's the left hand by Castillo, and shortly after that, the blood started from the right eye of Diaz. And we need to note, while the left cut came from a clash of heads, they're saying that the cut over the right eye did not. So if the cut over the right eye stopped this fight, then Diaz would lose.
Ironically, it's Castillo who is cut prone. Has had 4 of his 6 losses stopped by cuts, excessive bleeding. It's Diaz who's in trouble right now with the blood on both sides. Now he's really blinking that right eye, and it's troubling him.
They told Diaz in the corner, of course, you heard him, you've got to stay off the inside, you've got to win with the jab. And he was doing that for the first part of that round very effectively, and then stopped in the second part of the round.
Castillo is now using Diaz's eye as target practice. There's a pop, straight right hand by Castillo upstairs. Now the left jab, and it's really scoring, it's effective, and it's really messing up Diaz. Beautiful work here by Castillo.
You know, Diaz landed a nice counter right, but Castillo walked right through it and landed his own right hand.
Castillo brimming with confidence now. He knows he's got Diaz in some difficulty.
Well, I think Castillo's laying on the ropes to try and lure Diaz in so he can counterpunch him at that point.
But Diaz wouldn't bite. Diaz with a good left hook to the neck. It wasn't that clean though, but got it in. Scored a point.
Castillo is such a veteran. He turns Diaz so he can keep punching when Richard Steele is trying to break them.
Blood coming down from the right eye. It's from the eyelid above the eye, so it's getting into the eye of Diaz.
Punch again, don't hold.
According to Richard Steele, the result of a punch. Castillo trying to corral Diaz into the corner, but Diaz wisely escapes.
You know, these are not clear-cut rounds. Good shots there inside by Castillo. But I think the steady pressure of Castillo and the fact that he's the one coming forward at all times is going to certainly impact how these judges feel about every one of these rounds.
Diaz showing his toughness here. Fans chanting for Castillo now. Being booed down by the Diaz fans.
Punching it out.
Less than 30 seconds in the 8th round. A dramatic one here.
Both men doing some good body work there, especially Diaz. But this is a round that I think Castillo took control of in the last minute and a half.
Boy, look at the swelling around Diaz's left eye.
And again, now that came from the clash of heads.
That is really becoming ugly. And Castillo hitting after the break. After Richard Steele.
Last warning. This is last warning.
All right, now he's going to start taking points.
Good job by Richard Steele.
Ya la van a parar, la van a parar ya, Julio.
They're going to stop the fight. They're going to stop the fight. Yeah, they should stop the fight. Yeah, look at his eye.
Él te pone la cabeza y tú te quedas ahí.
Don't put your head in there. Get out. Get out. Don't keep your head. That's why he's hitting you with your head. Hit him back. Don't stand there. Hit him back with the head.
In round 7, these fighters both working effectively on the inside. Castillo especially, and a lot of the head slamming inside. And you see the grimace on the face of Diaz, and that was again hurting that. That's where I think that swelling around the left eye got even worse.
Diaz, who never sat in the corner there between rounds. The Dr. David Watson taking a close look. So Diaz in a very tenuous position right now with the swelling and the cuts.
And you know, Jose Luis Castillo has pushed the envelope here today. Let's be honest. There have been a bunch of heads banging together. He's hit after the break a lot. And Richard Shields getting ready to take a point away for that. But he's also doing a lot of effective things in terms of boxing.
Now, by your account, is this close enough to where if a point were taken away from Castillo, it could become a huge factor?
Well, I've got it 78-75, so with 3 rounds left, I think the point could still put Julio Diaz back into this fight under the right circumstances, but because we don't know how the judges are looking at it. There's been a steady pressure of Castillo, and he's kind of pushed this fight in his favor.
Bert Clements, Dick Flaherty, Dalby Shirley are the judges. Reno, Massachusetts, and Las Vegas.
You know, one of the issues is, well, I do think Julio Diaz has fought a very good group of fighters. There's the scoring, agreeing with me that at the press row scoring, agreeing with me, I have it 78-75 as one of the people at press row scoring did. One of the issues here is Julio Diaz has fought very good fighters. He hasn't fought cream puffs, but nobody has fought the roster that Jose Luis Castillo has fought. Stevie Johnson, Cesar Bazan, Mayweather, Haragai, Joel Casamayor, Juan Lascano, all champions and all terrific fighters.
Now, one of Castillo's more bizarre scenarios, his rematch with Stevie Johnson. He retained the title with a majority draw. The result initially announced as a split decision win for Johnston. But an error in the tabulation was found. Johnson returned the belt to Castillo in his dressing room, ending one of the shortest reigns in boxing history.
The pressure of Castillo now really is getting to Diaz, and the swelling around the eyes bothering him, and now Castillo working better on the inside. See that head pushing forward. And you made a very good point. Let's say Julio Diaz finds some way to win this match. In May, he's supposed to fight Diego Corrales if he would win. Those cuts could impact that fight if he found a way to win this.
Yeah, is that enough recovery time? 2 months, particularly against a skilled guy and a hard puncher like Corrales.
Punching it out.
Right now, of course, it doesn't look too good for Julio Diaz, and especially the way things are going in this 9th round.
And Castillo, who told us yesterday he wanted to end this thing early. There's a good left by Castillo just before the bell and come away clean. Well, it's not early, but he may come away clean.
Por favor, ayuda. Help me here. The insulin. He took his time. He's taking his time. He's using his head. You have to. When he puts your head in there, you have to push him back. I can't see it. Everything, the cuts are fine. The cuts are fine. Come on, you have to be stronger. Stay strong.
Lee Espinosa, Willie Silva, the cut man in the corner of Julio Diaz, doing all they can do to hold him together. Round 10 scheduled for 12.
Don't hold him.
Richard Steele with a caution to Castillo. Stop holding. Over the top right hand by Castillo. Now Diaz on his horse.
You know, Diego Corrales is with his trainer Joe Goosen watching this fight right now, and I think I know what they're thinking. Corrales was able to box very, very effectively against Casamayor in their second fight. Stay at long range, use the jab, still land power punches. They are thinking right now, no way does he want to stay on the inside with Jose Luis Castillo. He's a power puncher, Corrales, but he doesn't want to languish on the inside with Castillo. Bad things happen when you do that.
Well, if Castillo does emerge victorious here tonight, boy, a heavy right hand to the head of Diaz. I can't wait for May 7th.
That could be a big hook.
Big left, and down goes Diaz, first knockdown of the night.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come to me, come to me, come to me. Come on. You okay?
Boy, that's a game warrior, Julio Diaz. He's been down a few times before in his career. With a minute 20 to go, he's got to survive.
His left eye is almost shut. That's the 4th time in his career he's been knocked down by a left hook, but he's got to go to war now, and he's doing it, trying.
Richard Steele watching ever so closely, and he's fighting back as Diaz. He's showing what he's got. A big heart. But Castillo continues to have his way, but back comes Diaz. And he goes down for the second time.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It's over. Steele says no more. There was no free knockdown rule, just for your own information, but it's a moot point. As Diaz goes down for the second time, he was really in all kinds of trouble. Richard Steele said, I don't want to see you get punished anymore. It's academic. Jose Luis Castillo, yes. His fans out in full force. The wait is over for Castillo. 2 times since December he's had fights with Diego Corrales put off. Now he's got him. For sure. And the loser. Battered eyes. No cuts on Jose Luis Castillo. He did come away clean.
Jose Luis Castillo could never be discounted in a fight. This fight was a perfect example. Maybe a little bit of a slow start, but once he picked up the beat, he was very, very effective against Julio Diaz.
And now, by virtue of tonight's win over Diaz, the 31-year-old Mexican veteran will meet the hard-punching Corrales May 7th, right in this Las Vegas arena. His second successful defense of the belt in his second reign. Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Consider this for a moment. This man has fought Juan Lozcano, Joel Casamar, and now Julio Diaz, and will fight Diego Corrales. Could you fight 4 tougher fights right in a row?
Well, I'll tell you one thing about Diaz. He put it all out there. Relinquished his IBF belt to get this fight, but it was not to be.
And that makes this very disappointing for this young man. He's still 25. He's still a very good fighter. There are things ahead for him. But clearly this is just a monumental disappointment. Of course, the bad swelling. Now that swelling was caused by a clash of heads. But no matter, enough other real punches landed that created plenty of damage.
And as Castillo celebrates, Diaz demonstrates what is good about a much maligned sport. A throwback to the days when you went for the biggest fights no matter what the odds.
This is the first time Diaz would go down. It was a left hook, beautifully delivered by Castillo. The 4th time in his career that Diaz had been knocked down by a left hook. And you see the disappointment clearly and frustration by Diaz. Castillo is able to get, he has a sneaky fast left hook. It looks for all the world like it's a little too wide. Maybe he's plotting coming in, but he lands that punch. And he lands it against fighters like Diaz, who are clever, good boxers. And we look from this angle, you'll see how, even in slow motion, of course, how quickly the left gets there. Well, he gets it in, and Diaz goes down from him.
Diaz should really be commended for doing what he did, giving up the belt, going for this kind of a fight. Castillo should also be commended for fighting whoever they put in front of him without uttering a peep or a complaint to take this long and circuitous route to Corrales.
Knockdown number 2 came first from an uppercut and then a left hook, but the uppercut had done the real damage. And I think a big part of Richard Steele stopping this fight had to do with the cut over the right eye, the swelling of the left eye, which left Diaz with virtually no vision, I think, in that eye. And here's what Richard Steele did in this fight that he was criticized for not doing in the Ruddock-Tyson fight many years ago. He looked very, very carefully at this fighter, took his time, and made the decision. And Richard Steele, with this bout, did a superb job of refereeing.
Yeah, there are no complaints, no booing. Let's get the official time from Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 23 seconds in round number 10. Our referee in charge, Richard Steele, stops the contest. He's the winner by way of technical knockout and still the WBC lightweight champion of the world, Jose Luis El Temible Castillo.
So Castillo goes to 52, 6-1, 46 knockouts. Diaz drops to 30-3. And Castillo getting ready to join our Jim Gray for post-fight reaction. And let's get it up to Jim right now. Take it away, Jim.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Once again, our translator will be Ricardo Jimenez. Congratulations to you, Jose Luis. What was the difference in this fight?
¿Cuál fue la diferencia en esta pelea, el factor? No sé, que venía muy bien preparado y afortunadamente hicimos un plan de pelea y se nos dio el resultado y bueno, estamos contentos, ¿no?
I came really well prepared. I thought I was in great shape, good conditioning. We had the plan and I think we just executed it.
How did he manage to dominate this entire fight?
¿Cómo lo hiciste para dominar toda la pelea?
Afortunadamente Julio es un boxeador muy rápido, desgraciadamente no muy fuerte, no sentí su fortaleza y bueno, por eso estaba recibiendo muchos golpes porque quería contrarrematarlo, ¿no? Y por eso recibí muchos golpes.
Yeah, you know, I knew he was fast, so I knew I was waiting for that. But I didn't feel his punches. I didn't feel his punches, and I felt I could go in there, I could take his punch and go after him.
Was there ever any point where you felt that you had to be concerned?
¿En algún momento que te sentiste en peligro, preocupado allá adentro?
No, sí me conectó dos golpes que, bueno, como se dice, vi estrellitas, ¿no? Vi estrellitas, fueron dos golpes muy buenos. Afortunadamente no supo rematarme y bueno, yo supe aprovechar.
Yeah, he got me a couple of good times. You know, he got me, and like they say, I saw stars out there, but I was able to move on, and he didn't come after me.
How did you manage to maintain your patience? You were supposed to fight Corrales 2 times now. How have you managed to maintain your patience and continue to persevere while waiting for this fight?
¿Cómo le has hecho para mantener tu paciencia, esperar a Corrales, que 2 veces lo has tenido programado y no se ha hecho?
Bueno, Corrales no me importa, yo quiero pelear con los grandes, ¿no? Así como Julio fue campeón, Corrales campeón, yo quiero pelear con los grandes. No me importa si sea Corrales, sea Siu o sea quien sea, yo quiero pelear y con gente grande para reconocerme y ganar dinero.
You know, I don't care about Corrales. I mean, you know, I just want to fight the best fighters out there, like Julio Diaz, former champions, Costa Siu. You know, guys that will make me money.
You don't concerned about Corrales, but that'll be your next fight. Will you be ready in May to fight Corrales?
¿Estás listo en mayo para enfrentarte a Corrales?
Pues afortunadamente no fue muy grande el desgaste, no fue un poco dura la pelea, complicada, no fue mucho el desgaste. Vamos a descansar 15 días y bueno, vamos a meter al gimnasio y pienso que sí voy a estar listo para Corrales si se llega a concretar la pelea.
Yeah, I think so. You know, 15 days, I'm going to take off 15 days, go back to the gym, get ready. I think it's been enough time. That fight was tough, but not enough, you know, not that tough.
Jose Luis, congratulations to you.
Gracias, un saludo para mi apoderado, para Julio y para toda la gente de Mexicali, en Empalme, en Temuaya. Saludos a todos. Saludos.
He just wants to say hi to everyone who's retraining.
Julio, let's bring you in here. First of all, how are you? Are you okay?
I'm okay. Just a little bothered by the headbutts. I lost vision in this eye. I couldn't see no more. So that's the reason he was landing on his punches. I couldn't see from this.
When did you lose your vision?
I think it was like by the 4th.
So it went almost at the same time that the accidental headbutt came?
Yeah, from the accidental headbutt, it just kept on bothering me. I couldn't see all the punches coming in. So that's the reason I would just stay there and try to hold them. I couldn't see him.
Up until the 4th round, before the headbutt, it seemingly he was in control of the fight anyway. What was it that he did that bothered you so much?
Well, I mean, I got to hand it to him. He's a very strong lightweight. He's the biggest lightweight there is, you know, and I give him all the credit. He did his job.
Al Bernstein had commented during the fight that he thought you were more effective when you were fighting lefty. Were you, and why did you switch?
Because when I lost vision from this eye, he was landing on the right hands. I couldn't get him away. But you know, I mean, I'm just I'm young and you know, I'm just learning. You know, I wouldn't trade this for anything. You know, there's a big learning experience for me.
You're to be commended now. You're commended for giving up the belt. What will you do now?
Well, I mean, I'll come back. You know, I got a lot of time. You know, I'm young and this is just a loss. You know, I'll be back.
All right, Julio. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. Back to you, Stephen. Now.